We're back on DayZ on Xbox One X, so when you're seeing the visuals and the performance, that's the platform that this is being played on. We are covering Livonia, which is, I believe, the first DLC in DayZ ever. This 163 kilometer square map. It is a different sort of environment. Now, I should mention prior to jumping into this that the game did bring in the 1.06 update with this release of Livonia across the platforms. And those features are kind of shared between the original map, Generis, and this one. So they don't really count as part of what I consider the review of this. Like, this does bring in, like, bears, and it brings in some new guns, and, some other little tweaks, fishing and stuff like that. Cool. So what we get here is a luscious sort of world. It's a lot more green, a little bit more dense in the visuals. It's a lot more flat. It's really as hilled or mountainous as the other original map is. And it rains a lot. Like a lot, and then it rains some more. So some people even suggest, before jumping into this one, that you play the other map and you collect like a raincoat and stuff. And that may sound weird, but your character is actually shared between this map and that map. You just spawn randomly in the middle of the forest and likely die because you don't have food, because the server shut down. Anyways, moving past the 20 or 30 minutes it took to get to this point where I'd be able to get a DayZ server going, that's something to keep in mind, is the fact that the characters and that kind of content is shared between the two. So that's an interesting feature. Just generally content, characters carry over back and forth. So it's an update that just basically, you're paying for the DLC to just have this new map. And it's not a bad map. I mean, it's fairly large, respectably so. It's a different sort of environment, but it really is kind of just more DayZ. That's the thing. It's like, are you looking for something new, or are you kind of fine with what you have? That's the thing. This is like basically a situation where, do I want more of the same, just in a slightly different sort of location? If so, Livonia is a good option. If you're perfectly fine with what you have, I don't really think there's a must-have part of this experience that really draws you in. It's kind of got some little bugs to it and stuff, which is DayZ. I mean, that's just the game at this point, let's be real here. But I mean, it's the same buildings, it's the same kind of looking world, the same textures and trees, which I did expect going into it, but I thought there'd be a bit more. Now, that's not to say they don't have new stuff. There's some new structures. There's some really awesome sort of destroyed looking buildings and structures. Those are really cool. They're minimal, but they're in there and they're kind of neat. But just like so much of this is the same building, is like, even like there's a top tier as in like the top of like a little hill stuff, little base, like a military base, and it's just the prison island structure but copied over to this one. And it's kind of like, I was hoping they'd do a little bit more with it. It's kind of like, I'm just thinking at this from like a development standpoint, that they probably just were creating the environment textures, which is probably a lot of work to actually set up the bottom of this. And then they just kind of greened up the textures and, pasted a bunch of, the structures onto the map. And that's kind of the gist of it, which is a little disappointing. Because I was just, I don't know, I was expecting like some sort of like big hook or big change in this one. And I'm not really seeing it, quite honestly. I do think the addition of rivers is really awesome. That definitely does change up the dynamics of the game a bit, having the different sort of, I don't know how you would describe it, but just, like the biome's a little bit different just due to the fact that there is rivers in this. I mean, they divide the map up. They're a neat swimming thing. They're like a good body of water. They're well done. They're cool flowing. And I think that's a neat change. But other than that, it's like, this is more DayZ, which you might like. I mean, I don't mind it. For me, I've been playing a ton of DayZ, and I need a little bit of a mix-up. The core mechanics are what I'm used to, and it's nice just to have a new area to play around in. that's Livonia. It's, you know, it's a decent effort. It's something new to do. It's a new experience to have. You get that sense of being lost again. It is fairly large, so you walk around for a while. I will say it's neat how they've set up the cities. So there's definitely a lot less cities, but there seems to be, in my opinion, more of a density to the cities, you know. And they're kind of neat in how they've changed things up. Some cities are like on like a cliffside. Some are, I don't know why I'm grabbing all these glow stone sticks. I guess I'm going to a rave later or something. But you know what I mean, right? Like, just the fact that they did do some things to change up how the cities feel structurally and how many buildings and everything are within them. But it's really more of the same, you know, kind of setup. You know, you're walking through these destroyed cities, you're looting, and there's not like there's any new missions or anything like that. It's just purely another level for you to go play in. And you basically get the benefits of what it provides just playing on the existing map, because they've added in like the changing weather, the lightning and everything, which is unique to this region. Well, not unique to this region, but you'd think it would be unique. And like the features and the tools and stuff, they're all available on the regular map. And I get that's good because they don't want to put things of the experience behind a paywall, but at the same time, it also doesn't create much of a hook, in my opinion, to be like, this is a must-have add-on for DayZ. So for now, I say it really comes down to, do you want a different playground but the same exact thing? Because I mean, you've probably gone in the same military base that I'm in right now a million times, and that's not gonna change by getting on this map. There's just not enough like tweaks or changes. I was expecting a little bit more of an advancement, and I'm not trying to be too negative. I think like what's with the sticks and stuff going on in here, like, I think it's nice that they're doing this. I'd like to see them push it further. It feels kind of like a little bit of a lazy, you know, kind of take on this. It seems like they just kind of like textured the floor, threw in a bunch of areas. Can I get by here? Like, you know, I spent so long waiting to get this set up. But yeah, I mean, I think visually it's a lot nicer to look at. Just the greenery really shows through. But even like some of the main landmarks for where you're going are the same. Railroad tracks, power lines, couple, well, I guess you don't really have bridges, so that's new. But it just feels like a lot of retreading through what I've already been through, which is so weird. And I like it, but I think I'm already kind of tired of it. I'm just going to go back to the main map, because that one's kind of bigger and offers a bit more. There is a neat like forest area of this map, but you're going to likely just sort of starve in that. There's just not enough like city type areas for you to hit spot to spot unless you're really well geared to go through the forest area, and I'm not sure why you would do that. I believe this is the prison area I was talking about. Like, the forests feel nice and lively, but again, it's the same forests, they're just green now. Like, I don't know if other people were expecting more out of it, but it's hard to talk about Livonia because there's not a whole lot to it. It's the same experience, it's the same content within that experience, and it's the same items within that experience. And then they're charging like, it's not too bad of a price point, you know. But it's also like, what are you really gonna get out of this? I mean, if you, again, going back to it, like I've been saying, if you think this is good for you, and you want a little bit more, good. Yeah, you know what? You'll have a good time. I'm having a decent time in Livonia, and it's neat. Aside from some issues that I've been having, just that's generally outside or due to the mechanics of the game, not, you know, specifically the map. You know, you'll be like, okay, cool. So I get some more DayZ action to play. That's nice. That'll be cool. But I don't have that big catch where I'm like, you must get Livonia because this is such a big change up. Yeah, because there's just, I don't know. It feels lackluster to a degree. I like the setup though. The visuals and that are like nice. It's got a good draw distance and, you know, minor new tweaks. The zombie density seems a little ridiculous in my opinion. Like, this is madness. But you can see, like, this is just the base from, like, the prison island. It's just been copied over here. I wonder if this is gonna work. Nope. And I ran. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it is interesting that they seem to have more zombies piled in. That's always good. So, Livonia. A lovely looking world. With a lot of rain. I think the rain is really nice in this, but it is kind of like really ongoing and constant. Which is different. You know? That's a nice thing to see, is having this damage to, who cares? Is having this variety within the world to explore new places. It's my mind, I'm just like, I think I'm on another area just because it's the exact same content. I don't think I've seen like a company really release this similar of like a package before for things. Like, I gotta be honest. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are kind of just like, I would just celebrate some variety in the game because it's tiring, like, seeing the same areas over and over again. But we're not really seeing new areas, are we? It's just the same thing. Where are all the zombies coming from? Crap. That's funny. I got caught in this corner here. Oh, look, there's somebody shooting their gun. Maybe they'll see my press thing and they won't shoot me. Like, I don't even know quite what I was hoping for in this. Maybe just like some new special place that I could go to and I could be like, wow, this is so cool and unique. Yeah, this is not a good situation to be in. So basically we just got more zombies and more death to have happen in confined spaces. And it doesn't really feel like a very large map. I guess that's good because there's more of a sense of focus in regards to the player locations. It's definitely something where you're going to be interacting with people a lot more than you normally would be. Which I think is cool. I mean, it's neat to see like the violence on like a quicker scale, I suppose. I don't suppose there's any bullets in here. Yeah, nice silencer though. Is there a way out that way? I don't have any weapons. Come on, get through here. I don't think there's anything like specifically wrong with Livonia though. I just don't think they maybe put in as much of an effort as they could have in making this more of a special experience for players. Because even, like, it's not like they went wild and they did like a cool desert or something or a snow map. It's just like a slightly greener version of what we already have. It's like an extreme budget cut version of content. Oh, cool. I don't know. I don't really know what to even say past that about what this is. You're essentially just retreading the same territory, but it's slightly different, and now it's flatter. That's some bullets. Nice. Crap. Like, there's not like new zombies. It's man. But it's not disappointing for me. That's the weird thing, is it's like, this is exactly what I expected it to be. A little bit less, but basically on par for what I had anticipated in what this DLC is. And it may sound like I'm super negative, but I'm just kind of like, I'm whelmed. I'm extremely whelmed. Little leaning towards underwhelmed, but it's like, yeah, this is about what I predicted. So I'm really wondering if people are going to get, you know, we're going to see as much value in this situation. I guess that's what I already had on, but ooh, it's got like a little scope thing. I don't know, what were you hoping for? That's what I'm curious about. I kind of told you what the map is. You're going to have to decide whether or not you see the value in what this presents for you, gameplay wise. Shouldn't it just go on there even if I don't have a battery? Damn, I should press the equip. Oh, now it's on there. Sick. But I'll continue to like keep going around in it. And I know there are some unique areas where it's like, you know, this is a cool thing where it's like, oh, this is fresh. I really like the one town, I think it's like Toplin. Well, I don't really like it. I got smoke there because that one is like a hill thing. So they do some different elements with the play. I just like, it's kind of a lot of empty open farmland and then a thick forest that's like kind of tedious to go through because it's never ending. And they really should have spent some time doing something on the outside of the map. Like, you know, putting like a barrier there, like mountains or something. It's weird how the world just kind of ends. I'm surprised I haven't run into the guy that was shooting over here. I figured he'd be hounding me. Yeah, there's this spot during the stream. There's like just dead bodies. I was like, what is going on in this place? So crazy. But you know what I mean? Like this part, most of this was just like going to the same buildings we've already gone through a billion times. Like one or two of them. Or did we even see it? No, we saw one different building. We saw the little shit thing outside of this place. That is like one of the new structures. I've seen like 6 or 7 new spots, like just like new little buildings that you can go through. It seems like they kind of just reorganized the structuring of things. Like here's a good outpost. You can kind of see that city. Same buildings, trees, tree lines, but the rivers are cool. I do like the rivers. And I think if they take the design principles that they used here just in regards to doing like new sort of environmental things and they push it a little bit, well, far more, I think they could have some neat maps coming up if they do that. I'm just wondering, you know, is this going to be like the future of it where we're just going to constantly be getting like these almost minor little maps coming out that don't really change things up as much as they probably should? Jeez, those zombies in this are just relentless now. I wonder if there's a guy that came in here. Or did I close the door on some? I closed the door on zombies. Crap. It might be good to die and show off another little area of this, but I don't know. Farmland, empty lands. Yeah, it just seems... I think sparse would be a good word for a lot of what I see out here. A lot of zombies, though. Lots of zombies. And, well, for the most part, it loads well. There's definitely some rendering issues just with, like, the dirt and stuff, because like, the fields are really open and good or something like that. Oh, crap. And I'm bleeding out. That's not good. What will I do? Yeah, I've got, like, my groupie gang of zombies coming out. Whole military gang. It's like a prison breakout. I mean, Livonia. It's a temperate late summer climate. It's basically the sister area of what we've already played. They do tweak some things, but largely it's just what I've come to know in DayZ, you know? And what I'm sure so many people are also like, yeah, I've played this before, I've seen this before. Maybe we overhyped it. That could have been a thing. Overexcitement. But I'm not like that. I'm just very, very whelmed by what they were doing. Did you read the sign, zombie? You're not supposed to be able to go out this far. It's like a stylistic western going on because it's so desaturated in color. Look how far they've followed me. Ugh, you can't catch a break. Zombie nastiness is weird. You think they would not, like, tweak the formula as much when they do have a new pack releasing? You know, you think they'd keep it kind of relatively the same so just people can experience the new world a little bit differently. But get out there, explore Livonia if it's what you want to do. if you're hesitant, I'd say wait for a sale. You know, if you must have it now, go ahead. You'll have a decent time if what I've described is something that you kind of crave or want more of. I think the original map also just offers plenty if you actually really take the time to go and explore inland and go to all the different places like that. This feels like a minor attachment to what that is. I was hoping they'd eventually just kind of stop so that I could maybe heal my wounds, but they're gonna do what humans do, and they're gonna outsprint me to death. Yeah, they literally hunted me down. That's kind of depressing. Anyways, that's Livonia. I'm just gonna fall back and let the zombies finish me off. I gave it my all.